but you're probably here because you want to check out this interview that I'm doing with Melaniepenn today. Just dynamic voice. I'm going to read her bio here in just a minute, but check out the Erskin Music Show if you've never seen this show before. It is a show about cultural commentary, usually centered on the things that happen in my life, which I'm a music artist here in Nashville, and just a lot of thoughts and big head, can I use this word? Ruminations about things that are going on in this world. And so if you're talking about it, we're probably going to be talking about it on this show. It's the Erskin Music Show. Get on in here and tell your friends. All right. Well, you guys didn't show up today so that you guys could see a cutout image of Melaniepenn. You came here because you wanted to actually see the real deal. Now, before we get started here, I just want to really quickly be cool to the brand folks that are here representing us. Let's do this. If you're watching us on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and or Twitter, please remember to subscribe to the channel and enable the notifications. You know what I think I did? I think I probably even put Twitch on there. All you gamers that are out there watching this today, thank you guys for joining us today. This is the Melaniepenn Show here. So without further ado, let's get her in the show. Bam!
Hey!
What is going on?
I made it.
You so glad you made it.
Look how far we've come, my baby. I got coffee. I've got, oh, look.
Coffee.
Good morning, gorgeous.
That's
what my coffee cup says.
All right. Getting it done. Let me read your bio here because we got fireworks that are about to go off on this show. In case there's somebody out there. There's probably not, but there could be somebody, since it's an international show, that doesn't actually know who you are. So let me get started.
There's plenty of people who don't know who I am. Plenty.
The Dolphins are excited. Let me go ahead and just get this started the right way. Melaniepenn writes pop songs at the crossroads of faith and culture. She was born in Washington, D.C., and raised in Falls, Virginia. She began training as a classical vocalist as a preteen and competed as a classical singer until moving to New York City, NYC, baby. And in NYC, she transitioned to pop, theater singing. And for many years, she has been a mainstay on the theater scene. She played Sandy, if you know anything about that, on the national tour of Greece with Frankie Avalon. Come on, baby. For the Lord, she gets that in as well. She also serves as a worship leader for many New York churches and anywhere else that she goes. She does what she's asked to do to serve the Lord. Emmanuel. You probably have heard about that because that's the seminal release of hers that just groundbreaking. Everybody that is in music critically acclaims this and says this is one of the best tour de force types of things that has ever been released. Her songwriting journey in this particular occasion through the Christmas Story is in various forms of mainstream press. It reached #1 on Amazon Music, Christian worship, and holiday download charts. She's a world-class talent, but she has a world-class love for the Lord and for people. I think that's it.
Okay, let's stop there.
Hold on a second. Fireworks.
That was the Erskin embellished version of my bio, full of adjectives, superlatives. I'm not complaining. I'm not mad about it.
I was going to say, okay, so now that you're here, I wanted to make sure that I read that in your presence. Correct me where I am wrong.
No, I mean, I do think that everyone in music thought my Christmas album was one of the best things ever. I agree.
There's like apple pie.
It's
your Christmas album. Emmanuel.
Unanimously decided. A jury of my peers unanimously delivered a verdict. Best.
I mean, when you're in the competition brackets with apple pie and Home Alone for Christmas.
Absolutely. White Christmas.
Yeah, White Christmas. You're in that bracket.
The Rockefeller tree, like all these things.
All the things. So it's so great seeing you. I always tell my guests, I actually don't even really see you because the panel is down below, but I saw you earlier today. Always stunning. Always just so great to see your bright smile. And, for folks that don't know how I know you, I'm not sure really how I know you either, but I think I kind of snuck in and ran sound for you on one of your concerts. And so it gave me a chance to get a chance to meet you and just hear your wonderful testimony, see your beautiful heart, and then hear your wonderful and amazing talent. So I was blessed.
Feeling is mutual. I need to come to one of your shows. And we have two wonderful mutual friends in Johnson City, Tennessee, who
Johnson
brought us
City,
together.
Tennessee, rock me,
Mhm.
mama, like the wind and the waves. So here's the deal. I want to just really quickly get into a couple of things for folks that are tuning in today. I put her show notes, her all of her bio information, and everything that you need to get in contact with and to continue to hear the classic music of Melaniepenn. All that information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's also the show notes for this show. Don't want to keep you too long today. I know you're in fast-paced life. You got a lot of things that are going on. You've got some new releases that are coming out. We'll talk a little bit about that. But hey, I wanted to ask you this question. You have been in New York. You've been, touring with Frankie Avalon. You've done all these different things that many people would consider to be like high pressure life. How do you remain Christian in that environment?
Well, I mean, I think none of us remain Christian, right? It's like Christ is always doing the work on our behalf. So it's
Come
like
on
we're
now.
always
Dolphins
drawn
agree
to
with
him.
that.
Just in case we needed a little theology lesson right there. It's been about 10 years actually since I was in the Broadway scene. So, and I was definitely a baby Christian when I went on my first Broadway tour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, like, yeah, a Broadway national tour is a pretty like secular environment. Definitely like a bit of a rock and roll lifestyle because everyone's on the road together and you like form this little community on the road that's very isolated.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
Weirdly enough, okay, you'll laugh at this, but when I was a new Christian on the road with Broadway shows, what really kept me sort of grounded was the 700 Club. Because
Oh, come on.
because we were always traveling. I never went to. There's people out there who are going to roll their eyes, but I I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Christian television because it was one of the only ways I accessed anything Christian when I was on the road. Because it was on
Wow.
late at night. It was on late at night. So I could go back to my hotel room after a show and watch the 700 Club. But this also shows how old I am because at the time there weren't like podcasts and stuff. You hear what I'm
So I got to
saying?
call timeout real quick because timeout.
Morning, gorgeous.
Yeah,
Morning.
morning, gorgeous. Let me call timeout real quick here because I wanted to just kind of touch on a couple of things. Like your theology is airtight. No, the Lord, we don't save ourselves and we don't keep ourselves being saved. That's absolutely right. But the reason why I asked the question that way is because in this era of deconstruction, there are so
Yes.
many people out there that used to be a Christian band or they used to be a Christian talent. We hear that a lot. And then they're just kind of re-examining their faith and like, Christianity, not so much of a thing. And
Yeah.
so because there's such a construction movement, there might be people who are watching this who are in the arts right now who are just like, I'm just kind of looking at this thing and watching people walk away. How is it that, that doesn't happen? And then you touched on, so if you want to touch on that, you can, but you touched on another passion of mine. I just got finished playing for the National Religious Broadcasters. And if anybody has known me over the last few years, that has been a staple in my scheduling and partnerships because I've just seen so much good happen as Christian creators and content creators have come together to create platforms that people can access the gospel, whether those be anything from audio recordings that go out, AM, FM, broadband, obviously podcasts, live streams, and different things like that, reaching so many different people. And I was at the NRB this year, and they gave a Lifetime Achievement Award to Pat Robertson for just his
Wow.
groundbreaking work in the area. Now, Pat Robertson and I, if he ever came on the show, and Pat Robertson, if you're watching this today, you're more than welcome to come on the Erskin Music Show. There might be maybe a few things that we would disagree with, and I'm saying that tongue in cheek. There would be a lot that we would disagree with theologically, but even as a young child, I remember there was nothing to watch, and I was home alone during daytime except for soap operas and the 700 Club.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
I remember as a young lad watching the 700 Club and going, I can't believe they actually put stuff about Jesus on TV.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to try to deny that that was in some way helpful in my life, and it sounds like it was in your life as well. And we'll just maybe chalk that up to the sovereignty of God using whatever He wants to establish His people in the Lord.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And we're alive, Erskine, you and I are alive in an amazing time that we didn't grow up in. So like we
Mhm.
didn't grow up in this time where it's like so much media, like so much Christian media or faith-based media to access. It's
Yeah, you were really grasping
truly
for
an
straws.
amazing time.
Yeah.
Truly an amazing time. And they're even finding out now with COVID, so many churches went online that whoever they are, like there's a lot being written about how a lot of the world has actually accessed a church online that has never been able to before. Like,
Hmm.
especially in the Middle East where the Islamic world, like, anyway, we're off. That's a tangent, but like, we just meet God is using media in the most powerful ways. And I think those early Christian television shows were at the forefront of whatever God was going to do there.
Absolutely. And I would definitely say that this show is a derivative of that kind of activity,
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
because there was a point in time, and you may appreciate this, my schedule was so busy that I didn't really care that much about interacting with people on live stream or making videos or doing those kind of things, because when I'm with the people, I like to just be with the people. And so I was looking at my schedule and thinking there's no reason for me to like promote a show or talk about my music, because the people that are going to hear it are going to hear it, and I'm going to be with them, and so on, so forth. And then when we had COVID and there was kind of a shutdown of like the travel part of that for a little while, I thought,
Mm.
well, I still want to interact with the people. How do I do that? And fortunately, we had some tools that were available to be able to just eke out some terrible shows at the beginning for the Erskin Music Show, and then progressively increase every season, and then bring amazing guests on like yourself. And so, really thankful to the Lord for that.
It's inspiring. I think what you're doing is inspiring. And you're right. Like you're continuing on this effort of like faith-based culture um out in the world through the airwaves.
Yeah. So tell us about your new projects that you have coming on. There's obviously people know about Emmanuel, that project, because that's groundbreaking and that's historic, and that's going to be there, forever until the Lord returns. But you've got some new projects that you're working on now, some new releases and some things that are coming out. Tell us where you're at with that.
Yeah, so I released an album called More Alive Volume 1 during COVID. So I released that in late 2020. And so More Alive Volume 1 came out in 2020, and the follow-up to that album, More Alive Volume 2, will come out. We're about to announce it in a month. And some of the songs are released already to streaming platforms, but the album itself will be fully announced in about a month.
So with More Alive, the subsequent volumes that you have, what are you trying to communicate to your listeners and to people who hear these albums?
Yeah, I mean, I have a very specific goal in mind when I write songs. Like, I call them hopeful anthems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love writing songs that are not saccharine in any way, but just very uplifting for a listener. I love a song with like a groovy tempo, someone can like sing along, and I really care about lyrics. Like, I want to write songs that have very clear lyrics. If someone's not a Christian, they can still access the songs and be like, "Hey, I think I can, kind of guess that she's talking about something more than this visible world." But I want them to be deep enough that a longtime believer can also listen to the songs and kind of get at the hidden treasure in there too.
Mm-hmm. I'm efforting, pulling up a song of yours called How to Sing,
Oh yeah. How
because
to sing.
I teased that today. Let me see if I have the technology and the tools to be able to do this. Let's see. Let's see where we're
Do you want
at.
me to play it from my phone?
There's that method. Or you could just sing it a cappella. What's going on with that?
Okay, wait. It's early in the morning. I haven't had breakfast. Oh, there it is. There's my little video.
Yeah.
Serious income. And the way
There's
that
an ad before the video.
Yeah, we'll stop that because we won't skip that. We want you. Come on, get in here, girl.
Skip into the chorus.
You're gonna have to take a breath.
Get in there. fast forward to the
Where we at?
chorus.
Where we at? I wanted to see you passing by all these people because I was going to make a comment about that. But
Oh yeah, my cat.
To learn how to sing. You might hear a note that you can't hit, or a harmony that won't fit. And if you get too low, you can't quit learning how to sing, 'cause it'll be worth it. You're turning into a singer. You don't have to be a star to give it everything you are. 'Cause when a melody's playing and you're raising your voice up to the beating of your heart, that's when a song can really start. And we can feel the
all right, I'm going to stop it right there because I want to ask you some questions.
That was in Rochester, by the way. We were just talking about Rochester, New York.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Rochester.
Yeah, wonderful folks that are up there. And that's
Mhm.
actually what I wanted to ask you about. So there's a number of people who are in this video passing through the scene, passing through life. Who are these people? Are they people that you just found on the street?
No, they're local actors from Rochester. So a filmmaker that I know in Rochester and a director that I know both really liked the song, and they were like, "We have an idea for this song. Why don't you come up to Rochester? Like, let's do a video." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And they really had the vision. It's really the very first time. So Erskine, we're probably similar. I am very controlling when I do something. So
we're not. No, I'm not. I'm not like that. I'm not.
I mean, I have my hands on everything. But this video,
which is fine. Like there's quality control in that. But I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people, Melanie, that if you are good at video, you tell me what to do because I'm not good at video. And I know I'm not good at it. I tell people I have such a limited skill set that it's almost embarrassing that I do this for a living. I can sing a song, record a song. I'm good with talking to people, and I'm great on stage. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't mean technically. Yeah, I'd probably be with you. If tech is involved, I'm happy to pass that off. But I really have a lot of vision when it comes to like, what do things look like? What are things communicating? And it's that makes sense when it's your artist name on it. It's like, yeah, it's whatever God has given you to express. But my point is, this video is the first time I really put myself into hands of somebody else. And I was like, if you have an idea for this video, go for it. And I did say I wanted whoever was involved. By the way, for whoever's listening, the idea of the video is I'm at this theater as a performer, but I interact with people who are at the theater, and ultimately they get on stage and I'm in the audience. So
yeah.
I wanted the whole concept of the video to kind of flip around, because ultimately artists are in the audience. Like, the artist's job is to elevate whoever's in the audience. That is the artist's job. So I wanted this video to communicate that. But I really wanted the video. I really wanted like diverse faces. Like, I wanted a young person. I wanted an older person. I wanted it to look like our world, And so we spent a lot of time on that, and that's who the people are. But they're all professional performers. And
yeah, I loved watching your videos. I was spending some time doing that last night, and I love the one. I forget what song it is. You'd know, where you're singing and you've got the bicycle helmet on.
Oh, Just Jump. Yeah, that just
yeah.
I've been making some videos. Yeah, that's kind of a homemade one. I've been a little bit hunkered down with my mom, caring for her in Virginia. So I've been making some videos by myself. And those have ended up kind of wacky and fun.
Yeah, fun. It's fun that you continue to do things. And obviously, yeah, that's just, I don't know if you want to say much about your mom or your family situation. You certainly don't have to, but you would have people who will be praying for you as a result of watching this.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, more than other people praying for me, I would hope to encourage anyone who's in a similar situation. My dad died during COVID. He didn't die of COVID, but he was diagnosed with cancer, declined, and died all within COVID. So I'm an only child, and so I've been helping my mom kind of pick up the pieces after losing dad, and it's been a transition. You always know when you enter into adulthood, there's going to be a time when like you become the one your family depends on. Like, you become really no longer a child. Does that make sense? And that kind of happened for me during COVID for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, community is kind of what I hear you saying with regards to that, because there are people who have gone through some really difficult things in the past a few years, and my prayer is always that they would connect with the body of Christ, and that there would be support there and encouragement, all the more as we see the Lord in the day of His approaching,
Yeah.
getting near. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be praying for you about that. The comment section is on. You guys have been a little quiet today, but you guys are welcome to ask Melanie a question before we get out of here. I've got about one or two more questions. It's interesting that you talk about being an only child. I was with my band. We were on tour in Texas last week, and I don't know how it came up. Somebody had asked me about my family, and I was in the presence of the band, and I said, well, I'm an only child. I'm an only child, and I was actually raised by my grandparents. And my grandfather passed away during COVID, not because of COVID, but it was also cancer. And when I mentioned to my band that I was an only child, they all looked at each other and they were like, that explains so much. And there was just kind of this weird pregnant pause of like, oh, now we understand why he's
What
like
did they
this.
mean? What did they mean?
Well, since we were traveling in different vehicles, and it was only because their part of the tour was going to be shorter than my part of the tour, and I had some other appointments that I needed to go to and different shows that I needed to play apart from them. After they had gone back, I think they thought that maybe I would be lonely because I drove basically from New York to Nashville, from Nashville to Texas.
Wow.
And the whole entire time I'm kind of like, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I like these moments where I'm kind of alone and, kind of talking to the Lord, kind of singing a little bit, kind of thinking through life, kind of communicating with other people. And, there was nothing about that made me lonely. And they were like, are you so lonely over there all by yourself? And I'm kind of like, no. I guess being an only child, I was kind of raised that way. Like I didn't have a lot of other people to play with all the time. And so, I just kind of got used to being alone and kind of created my own world. And being a creative, that was just kind of fun for me. I could just do creative things, and it would occupy the whole entire day. I remember, I played basketball, and we'll pivot here in just a second, but I played basketball. But I remember literally there would be entire days that I would play basketball by myself, and I would pretend like I was one team when I had the ball, and the next time I got the ball, I'd pretend like this other team, and it was usually the Celtics and the Lakers, and I would play.
Aim high.
Yeah, I would play basketball all day long by myself. And so, I don't know, only kid things. All right.
Yeah,
well,
I call it keeping your own company.
Yeah.
You can keep your own company. I'm kind of the same.
Which my wife says that's weird because like I do really enjoy being with people. She's like, you're so good with people. And I'm like, I like people. Like I'm not against people at all. I'm for the people. Go people. Come on, let's go. But
so then do you need to recharge though? Like do you need to kind of withdraw after intense
yeah, usually, after tours or something where it's just been people, I usually need to just kind of decompress a little bit and just figure out what's going on in life, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know. Most people are like that to some extent.
Yeah.
All right. The question of the day. Are we going to work together on some project in the future?
Yes, sir. Let's do it. And I know that so for anyone out there, I'm in the process of relocating to Nashville and bringing my mom to Nashville. And I know you say everyone in Nashville is so busy. Don't just think we're going to cross paths in Nashville and be able to coordinate our calendars, but I think we will.
Okay, that's where it starts. You would think with us living in the same city, we might actually have a chance of, having a conversation about what that would look like. But it's surprising, Melanie. I've been in this town for 9 years, and there's people, and somebody told me that it would be like this. Like there's people that and you might meet them and you might hang out for like a month or so or get kind of close, but you might not see them again for another 10 years.
Interesting. What do you think that do you think that's just normal life? Like people kind of get swept up in their own concerns and raising kids and stuff like that? Or what do you think that's about?
I think, Nashville, and this is, a lot about stuff that we're doing, but Nashville, the reason why we planted a church called House Church Nashville, which is a house church in Nashville, in East Nashville, is because there really seems to be in Nashville this just really sense of disconnection. The only thing that I can liken it to is when I go to tour in Florida, I feel like the people there are really nice, they're kind, they're genuine, but the people are kind of on vacation. Like they're going from somewhere to somewhere, and they really don't have a lot of time to invest in deep relationships. And it just kind of feels like they're just kind of a tourist and it's surface level, and they're kind of waiting for the next thing. And Nashville feels a lot like that as well. Like people, especially in the artistic world, like they're working, they're striving. Oh, look, there's a record deal. Okay, we're going with that. Okay, they're working, they're striving, they're kind of connected a little bit, but then something happens and they move out of town, or they get on. And so it seems like people are always waiting for that thing to happen, and it either happens or it doesn't happen, and then people move away. And so they're not really invested in saying, hey, I'm here, I want to get connected here, because the touring life means you're not going to be here a lot. And so we've really tried to address that and just say, if we build community, then discipleship flows from that, and evangelism and all those other things that are the church. I've heard people say that a lot of times the church experience is, hey, you see this group of people on Sunday, and then you'll see them again next Sunday. There's really no community life that's going on throughout the week. And so, we've tried to address that. And that's my take on it. I don't know. When you get here, you can tell me what you think.
Yeah, every city has its own kind of dynamics going.
Mhm.
And I mean, I've been going to Nashville for like 12 years, like working pretty steadily in Nashville for many years. And yeah, I've wondered if the touring aspect, like you said, kind of zeroes in on something that like Nashville is a place where people go home. And
Yeah.
so when they're home, they're like, "Hey, I'm home now. Like, my door's closed. I'm vegging out. I'm regrouping."
Mhm.
And then like the outward life is expressed on the road, not in Nashville community. Like, I
think
wonder if there's something to that.
Yeah, I think you're right about that as well. But let me know. I mean,
Hey,
certainly the door is open once you get here. We'll welcome you with open arms. You're such a
you'll hang
magnet.
out. No, but I've wondered about that. Will Nashville be an isolating place to live?
Not for you.
I've been curious.
You're a
Okay.
magnet.
Oh,
People love you.
from your lips. Thank you so much. I hope that I'll take that as a blessing. I hope so.
Yeah. You'll be encouraged here. And I think you're already connected with some of the churches that are here, and so that is even better.
Yeah, I have to but you want to like plant roots, right? You can't just like skip around to like all the churches where you like know people.
Yeah.
You gotta
you know what you need to do.
you gotta pick one. Invest your time.
You are a mature Christian, as they say. We may have started with the 700 Club, but doggone it, we got in the Word of God. And
I'm reading. Oh, I'm reading the Puritans now. It was a long journey.
Yep.
Well, gosh, we'll have to connect even like to support your church planting effort in East Nashville. I think East Nashville is like a real interesting kind of own little subset of Nashville, and like an interesting ministry territory too.
Sure, indeed. All right, won't keep you all day long. Thank you so much for your time today. Any words of encouragement you want to give out the door?
Oh my gosh, just spring is here, and it's our time to like come out of our shells in every way. I think a lot of, it's going to represent a lot of rebirth, especially after these 2 years of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope everyone is kind of taking that in and embracing that.
Interview was money today. Thank you so much, Melanie. We will get you back on the show at some point. And
thanks for having me.
Let the folks know. Well, I'm letting them know all the different ways they can get in contact with you and follow your latest, greatest projects that are out there. And we put a little tease out there. At some point, you may see an Erskin Music and Melaniepenn collab.
Woo!
Wait for it. Wait for it, people. It's coming. It's coming. And unless the Lord comes back before then, and then we'll collab in heaven.
Exactly. There's no stopping to collaboration. It'll just be better.
Amen. Amen to that. Thank you so much. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Did she leave? Oh, I'm the one that presses the button. All right. So, folks, Erskin Music Show. We're at 29 minutes here. I don't like to go much longer than that. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the show. No Erskin music today, but the Erskin music is also in the intro. So for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and or Twitch, please remember to subscribe to the channel, enable the notifications. I don't know why I keep saying that, because you guys obviously are doing that. The show keeps growing by leaps and bounds. Thank you guys so much for sharing with all your friends. We're going to come back with classic Christian content tomorrow. Listen, I'm doing a special episode on this whole thing of Jesus is my homeboy. You'll want to tune in tomorrow and figure out why I kind of got a little issue with Jesus is my homeboy, especially after Easter and Resurrection Sunday. All right, God bless. Erskin Music Show. We out. International audience. When you guys watch it in your time zone, tell some friends about it. They'll enjoy it as well.